Okay, so let's take a look at some of the example applications that Meteor has packaged with it. We'll open up our terminal, and we'll type Meteor create -- example leaderboard. There's a couple other examples, but we'll take a look at the leaderboard example. It's created. So let's take a look at what it looks like. Okay, so it seems pretty simple. There's just a CSS file, an HTML file, and a JavaScript file. There's also a smart.json. We'll get into that later. Let's take a look at it when it's actually running. That's it, it's running. So here we have it. This is our first Meteor application that we're looking at. You can click on these, and you can give them points, and they'll move up. You can also do this across multiple browsers. I'm just going to open up another tab and show you what it looks like. So you can see over here, we have this highlighted, and it's 55. We'll go over to this tab, and we'll change it to 85. And it's instantly reflected here. That's pretty awesome. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is explain how Meteor does its templating. You can see that in this example, there's only two templates. There's the leaderboard and the player template. So now that we understand that this application conceptually has two views, two templates, the leaderboard and the player, let's dig into the code a little bit. So we can see that this code is handling both the client and the server operations, all in a single file. We'll get into splitting these out later, but for now it's self-contained, which makes it easy because this is a pretty small example. So again, we have those two conceptual concepts of a leaderboard and a player template. It automatically populates the template global with the template names you've provided. But before we dig into them, let's take a look at what this Meteor collection is doing. Firstly, it's saying there's a players global. That's a Meteor collection of players. So that really means that we have a whole bunch of things, and they're available to both the client and the server, because it's defined before either of these if statements. So both the server and the client can see this players collection. Now that we know that we've got a players collection, we can actually look into the templates functionality a little bit more. We can see that the leaderboard provides players, which is really just all of them, sorted by its score and name. We can also see that the leaderboard has a selected name, which is just the one that the user has currently clicked on, which is that one that you saw highlighted in yellow. The player template also has a function, which is selected, whether or not that player is the one that's currently selected. Meteor templates also accepts a hash or an object of events. These are really just events you want fired and the element you want them fired on. So in this case, when we click the input to increase, we're really just updating our players collection and saying the selected player just gets 5 more. That's it. The player template also has an event, a click, which is just selecting. And that's how we really determine if it's currently selected. The other thing we have in the server is some startup code. It doesn't do much. It basically just inserts some records for us to get things started. So how does this look in the template? How does it all string together? Well, now that we've got an idea of what this thing's doing, it has players, it has a selected name, a player can be selected, and the events that need to be fired to get all this working together, we can actually take a look at the template and see maybe how it fits together a little bit better. So now that we've got an idea of what the code is doing, we can maybe understand the template a little bit more. Handlebars are always declared with curly braces, and this greater than sign defines that a template goes here. So in this case, the main body of the application is just the leaderboard template, this block of code. So it's almost the same as this, but we have to conceptually divide them so we can attach functionality to that area of the DOM. So we can see that the leaderboard is just going through a whole bunch of players, which if we look back at our JavaScript, we can see that we have leaderboard players. And this is the collection that Meteor will keep synchronized for us and sorted. Inside of this each, we're calling another template for each player, which is just this down here. And all it's doing is it's printing out their name, their score, and whether they're currently selected or not, which we can use for styling. And there you have it, a high-level look at Meteor's example application, Leaderboards.